Hello everyone, I am Zia Ahmed. I am an affiliate instructor of Brassey USA with a new video on blockchain. For those who are new, I request you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you can get notifications of all new videos. For starting the conversation, the first question is why we should discuss blockchain, or do we really need to know this? Let us see a simple situation of a US exporter getting inquiry from a customer in the Middle East and count the number of steps and time needed to complete the whole transaction. First, exporter will check his own inventory and then with the available suppliers. If he finds the products with the suppliers, then he negotiates the prices and sends quotations to the customer. If customer confirms the order and payment terms are cash before delivery, then payment is demanded. Customer initiates bank transfer with his bank, who generally sends it to an intermediary bank, who in turn passes it on to the exporter's bank. Once amount is transferred, then the exporter places order to supplier and arranges delivery to the customer. After booking the shipment, invoice is generated and tracking details are passed on to the customer. Normally, all this process takes a week or 10 days time. Here we observe that all the involved parties are keeping records with them and then updating others. Just think how much time will be cut short if we make a shared network between them where one person enters an information and all others are updated immediately. For example, if exporter and his supplier are connected, then no need to check availability or price and wait for response. And if all the involved banks are connected, then as importer initiates a payment, all banks get updated and amount is transferred immediately to the exporter. This way, whole operation becomes much fast, easy and transparent. We will now see how blockchain helps us to achieve this. For knowing blockchain easily, first we see the background or circumstances in which this was developed. In the early 1990s, two international mega events happened one after the other. First, Soviet Union got fragmented, took away communist bloc with it, and Cold War was over. So, trade barriers between countries of opposite blocs were lifted. Everyone was trying to grab new markets and competition rose to a global level. Second, internet stormed the world and completely transformed the way of doing business. Means of communications improved manifolds and accessing customers or suppliers on global scale became much easier. These developments accelerated pace of business. Competition became intense and efforts to gain competitive edge increased. Reducing time involved in business transactions became a need. For this, companies started adding contact details of their key staff and available inventories of important items on their website. This was followed by interactive websites and electronic data interchange, etc., which reduced the communication time. By that time, enterprise resource planning software or ERPs had started gaining popularity. With these, data was shared very easily between different departments of same organization. Like salespeople were able to check available inventories or orders in pipeline themselves. Otherwise, before it, they had to check with respective staff members like warehouse or purchasing staff personally and had to wait for their response. Then the quest to improve these ERP started, and soon people started thinking about the possibility of connecting it to key business partners like suppliers and customers. But due to difference in size and resources, it was not easy, so the goal remained far from accomplishment. Then another idea of creating a secured and mutually shared network between trusted business partners for exchanging and verifying data emerged. It was stressed that all the members must be able to enter data, but it should be made permanent only by mutual consensus of all the partners, which means if one member enters a data, then others must approve it, only then it is added to the system. This way, concept of blockchain started getting its shape. Blockchain is a mutually shared network limited to members that keeps records in a transparent way and accessible to all the involved parties. Data is entered and made permanent by mutual consensus. Once it entered, it cannot be changed by a single person. It can be made within a company, a few companies, or even on a global scale. Its size will increase as more and more members are added or transactions are stored. It can be public or private depending upon the situation. We will now list down resources needed to build a blockchain and its brief technical details. General requirements of a blockchain. Infrastructure and hardware. This covers the needed computers, servers, modems, etc. Networking. It is both networking of computers and people or organizations. Consensus. It means a mutually agreed agenda. Data. All the participants must be clear on type of data needed to be shared. Application. For example, smart contract or decentralized application. It stores transaction data in blocks that are linked together. Each block contains a unique identifier or hash. Transactions are stored with the respective time. Hash of previous block is added to prevent insertion of any block resulting in alteration of data. This way, the whole blockchain is secured. Data is made permanent with mutual consensus. So, chances of manipulating data due to evil intentions of a single member are eliminated. Shared ledger. This is like a traditional ledger which exists inside the blockchain. The transactions are entered once. There is no need for everyone to record them at their end, but can keep a copy if needed. Everyone has an authorized area based upon their identity and level and cannot see other records. Permissions. We can build blockchain either by keeping everything open or limit the access to some specified and mutually agreed area. If we keep limits, then we can extend the network and add more data. The top management or few others like a network administrator or auditor can be given access to everything. Special digital certificates are made for this purpose either by top management or a certification authority. Consensus. Its mechanism varies and depends upon the level of closeness of relations among the participants. As commonly observed, importance of members depends upon their level of investment or share. A majority decision is needed to verify for adding or altering or eliminating any transaction. One important and most used technique is practical Byzantine fault tolerance (PBTF). It is an algorithm designed to settle disputes among network participants. Smart contract. In simple words, this is a collection of guidelines that oversee a business transaction. All the partners agree and enforce it in the beginning. These can be amended by a mutual consensus. Once enforced, these are stored and executed automatically as part of transaction. For example, if it is agreed that standard terms and conditions will go on separate sheet to customers with every order, then the system will print them routinely with every order. Participants and their roles. As observed, an ERP is used by whole organization and people share data, but there is an administrator and everyone has a limited access. Same way in blockchain, there are different roles for different participants. Users. They are simply users who can enter transactions but have no administrative rights like data entry staff. Regulator. They monitor entries or transactions added by users and mostly don't enter data themselves. Developer. Same like developers in ERP, they design and make applications which help users in performing different functions. Network operator. They define, create manage and monitor the whole process. Every business using blockchain has one such person. Traditional processing platforms. The existing network comprising of desktop or laptop computers etc., which can be used to enter data in blockchain. Certificate authority. The individual who issues different types of certificates to run a permissioned blockchain, for example, to users for individual transactions. Traditional data sources. Due to its importance, I wanted to discuss it separately. These are the existing data sources like networks and servers. The real challenge is transferring data from them to blockchain and ensure that nothing important is missed. While designing smart contracts, we need to take special care and make sure that all the needed important data is transferred. Data transfer is done by Application Program Interface API or MQ Cloud Messaging System or both. Benefits of blockchain. It increases the speed of transfer of information and makes it more accessible so people can interact easily. Due to its transparent nature, level of confidence gets boosted. Risks due to information leakage are reduced. It can help to increase transparency, visibility and feedback in supply chain. To sum up the discussion, I say that this is a new and emerging concept which is revolutionizing the exchange of information. Internet offered us access to information, but level of trust always remain a question, and this can be answered by blockchain. It can help us in removing intermediaries in future. It offers an ideal medium for streamlining business networks and helps in reducing risks and costs. Bitcoin is often quoted as the best example for blockchain to the extent that some people confuse them as same thing. But European Union states started sharing important government data on a mass scale much earlier, so we can quote that as a good initial example also. I hope you have liked my video. Please feel free to share any feedback in comments. Thank you.